Hi everyone, I am Ann Urok and I'm here to talk to you today about FERPA and how it applies to us and what protection rights there are, what we can do to help parents, and then what our current policies are and what we do for it. So what is FERPA, you asked? So FERPA is an acronym for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So what does FERPA provide? So it's a federal law that provides protection of the confidentiality of student education records. So it gives the right of the parents or an adult age student, which adult age is 18, to inspect and receive copies of student records. It also provides the right to deny access to others outside the school. It also has the right to opt out of military recruitment and the right to opt out of disclosure of students' directory information. So what protection can FERPA give? It applies to all schools that receive federal funding in some sort. It is strengthened and more responsive over time with the more cyber threats and the digital age that we are currently in. It prevents the disclosure of information from a student's education records. It also keeps students safe from identity theft and fraud and extortion on their school devices. And it protects student privacy and ensures the health and safety of students and others in the school community. So what is considered an education record? So an education record is something that is directly related to the student. It is maintained by the school. It will include the student's name and address, name of their parents and family members, possibly their social security number, their birthday, their grades, their GPA, immunization records, disciplinary records, attendance records, basically how they're doing within the school. I think something else that I found is that you can add their biometric record now, which includes like their fingerprint, their handwriting, facial characteristics, and things along those lines. So to ensure that there is compliance to FERPA, here are some tips to make sure that that is happening. So you need to raise FERPA awareness to, your staff, your parents, to your community members. Confirm that FERPA applies to you. Know the rights and protections and expectations. Choose compliant vendors. Train all your school employees. Implement compliant policies and procedures. Encrypt files and emails for protection. So that's having some type of security system on your emails or some type of firewall so that encrypted stuff isn't getting into your internet for your students. And then implement other prevention tools. This could even be like cybersecurity or some digital citizenship curriculum so that your students know what they need to be aware of when they're on their electronic devices. All this comes back into student data and what student data is. FERPA prevents schools from sharing student data without parental consent. There is a cycle that data goes through for students while they're in school and then once they're out of school. So obviously they capture the data. This is when they enroll and when they get their information from their parents. And then it's going to get organized into a file and then utilized when needed and then managed from year to year as students return back to a school. And then once they are graduated, and then they can be destroyed. With destroying data, it's a process of removing information in a way that is unreadable or irretrievable. So this would be like shredding your paper up and then deleting a file for good, not just moving it to the trash deletes a file. There's more ways to get rid of the file. Next, we have school security surveillance. School cameras have become more and more crucial, or you've seen more within schools. It's a cornerstone for school safety and security. And then with the surveillance also comes a lot of the keypads or like the fobs that people have so that they can gain access into the school, so not just anybody can walk into the school. Our fob readers here actually have a camera on them, so then when they are let into the building, the school secretary knows who they are letting into the building due to the camera. Usually other cameras are located in low expectation privacy versus high. Low expectation of privacy areas would be hallways, gyms, parking lots, cafeterias, and classrooms. And then high expectation of privacy would be like bathrooms and locker rooms. And then as a school, you need to develop protocols. And then the notification to the public through policy handbooks and building signage. You know, what I see at our school here is that we have signs up saying that there are surveillance cameras up, and you know that everything you do is going to be on camera. Because captured surveillance can be used in education records, especially towards disciplinary action or trying to figure out if something happened or who started what or how something exactly went along. So tips for parents. So parents obviously own the right until their child is 18 or enters post-secondary education to their FERPA rights. Parents with claimed dependents on their taxes retain their rights. So this would probably come between divorced parents or separated parents. They also have access to review and inspect student education records throughout their time. Parents can request access to captured surveillance and images of their child. Parents can file a complaint if their students' rights are violated. And then every year, I know at our school, we sign a written consent form to their FERPA rights, you know, that there are cameras and those types of things for the students' rights. And then lastly, here are our policies and procedures that we currently have here at USD 481. Basically, it's going through how we as employees have access to confidential information, you know, who we can actually talk to or give information to. And then lastly, I kind of put in here about posting on social media, because I think that sometimes the FERPA rights go into there and exposing children. This is like the first year where we haven't had students that cannot be published on Facebook, which is, I mean, nice in the way that parents allow us to, you know, market our school on our Facebook pages to show what we're doing. One thing I have learned is that we can't fully say a student's name. We can only say like their first name so that their full name is not out there in the public. And then lastly, here are my APA references that I used throughout this presentation. Thank you.